Hello and welcome back to the JENEsys Edge product line video series. My name is Charles Johnson, lead trainer and technical engineer at Lynxspring. Today, we're going to be talking about emailing of alarms. Now, this process works both in the Edge Supervisor, not Edge Supervisor, Edge 534, any Edge product line, and a JENEsys. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to make sure that in our platform of our controller, and we go to TCP/IP configuration, we want to make sure that we have the gateway and DNS server in here. This is going to allow us to go out to the internet properly. Sometimes you may see like it seems to work, but without this information here, it's most likely going to fail. The second thing that we're going to do is, well, we're going to have create an email. We're going to create an email here, and I've already done that ahead of time. Now, this is just a sample thing here. I'm not going to give out my password for this, but if I go ahead and go to Outlook.com here, and now I go ahead and sign in. I'm going to sign in with what I created, which is this Niagara Test Alarms at Outlook.com. And I'm going to go ahead and sign in with this password. Now, the reason why I'm choosing Outlook here is because Yahoo and Google no longer support remote SMTP connections from less secure sources. And as of the time of this recording, Microsoft still does. Gmail, you could use the two-factor authentication. It's not as it can be kind of a pain. Postmark app, I still think does it, but I think they're changing something, so I'm not sure if that's going to be able to be used anymore. But however, Outlook can be used as is. So after you create your online account for your email service, you're going to go ahead and go to Settings, and then you're going to go to Sync Email. Now, when you do this, we see here that set the default address here. But primarily what we're looking for is the POP, IMAP, and SMTP settings. So we can use any of these settings, but primarily we're going to look at the SMTP. So we can see the server name here, which is smtp.office365.com, the port, and the encryption method, which is start TLS. So now that I know that I have that here, I'm going to go ahead now and add the email service to my services container in my Edge 534. In the alarm video that we did, we created a test alarm here, which we're going to test the alarm to make sure it actually comes through to our email here. So in order to add the email service here, we're going to go ahead and open up our email palette. And we're going to do that by going to the sidebar icon in the toolbar here. And we're going to go to Palette. So we're opening up the Palette sidebar. And we're going to go to the Open Palette window. And of course, this brings up the dialog here. And I'm just going to type in email, which brings up the module or the palette for the email, and select OK. So I need a couple things here. One is the email service, which we're going to put in our services container. We're going to need an outgoing account, and we're going to need an email recipient. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to drag the email service into the services container, and I go ahead and keep it the name email service. Now, if you get an error with this email service, most likely you did not have the email module put into your module when you did commissioning. Remember when we commissioned our Edge 534 in an earlier video, we added the email module there. I normally put this in there by default, just in case I need to do it, so that way I don't have to add it again. But after I add my email service, I'm going to go ahead and add an outgoing account. And I'm going to just keep the name outgoing account here. And as we do, I'm going to go ahead and double click this. And now this is where we're going to put all of our settings. So I'm going to type in smtp.office365 My port is going to be 587. My account is going to be the Niagara Test Alarms. And my password is going to be my password that I used. Poll rate, I always keep at a minute, and I'm going to keep this enabled. Now, it's going to say use start TLS, which is correct. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to use authentication. We're also going to make sure that we reply to, so we're going to say as Niagara Test Alarms. And it's going to be Niagara Test Alarms at Outlook.com. Okay. Now you can go ahead and separate this if you want to, but you don't have to. Um, keeping the max queue size here. If you have a system that's going to send an externally large amount of emails a day, you can go ahead and increase this, but 100 should be okay. I'm going to go ahead now and click Save. So now I have this. I now have this set up the way that I need. Now I'm going to go ahead and go to my alarm service. And now when I go to my alarm service, I'm also going to actually just keep this open here. The reason why is I'll go ahead and keep this up because we can actually see once we send the email, the queue size and the number sent. Now, since I have this, I'm going to go ahead and drag an email recipient out. And I'm just going to name this charles.johnson@lynxspring.com. Go ahead and get my copy on here. Now I'm going to go ahead and drag this test alarm into my route alarm of my email recipient. And I'm going to go ahead and go to 2, and I'll say Charles Johnson, and my email address. And now the outgoing account needs to be the outgoing account. I'm sorry, the email account needs to be the outgoing account. Now we can add more things here if we need, in the body, but as right now, I keep this the same unless a customer specifically requests more information. And now I'm going to hit save. So I'm going to go ahead back here now, and I'm going to go ahead and fire this trigger for the test alarm. And as I do, I'm going to go to my outgoing account to see. So now my queue size is 1. We're going to see if my number gets sent here. And if it fails, we'll go ahead and start a troubleshooting process. Now, one of the things I did not do, and I should do, if we do have an issue, if it fails, we'll go ahead and we'll put this thing into debug mode. We'll go ahead then and look at the platform administration and resend the email again to see what the error actually was. So we're going to go ahead and just wait here for a moment to see if we get the email to be sent. I have not seen a notification yet in my email. So we're going to wait though. Now it says number sent. So now, because it said number sent, I will go ahead and see if it comes up. I'm going to go ahead and drag this over here real quickly. And you can see now that Niagara test alarms actually came through here. So it says test alarm active. Once this goes to inactive, I should receive another email saying that it has returned to normal. So typically there are 2 emails that are sent for each alarm. So now this is great. Now I know that I have a successful email. Again, if you, I highly recommend this, and I apologize I didn't do it in this video. However, I do recommend that you keep the debug on, especially if you need to troubleshoot immediately. If not, turn on debug, go ahead and disable your email account, then re-enable your account, and then try to send another email to see if there's an issue. Primarily, a couple things that I find for people for an email to not happen. Number one, the port number is incorrect that they have. Two, sometimes the authentication isn't it doesn't really there. And number three, it's either SSL is enabled or Start TLS isn't enabled. Four, if we go to the platform again, back to TCP IP configuration, and make sure that we have our gateway and DNS servers that we need. Also, you'll want to check with the IT department if you're going with an IT department. You'll want to make sure that whatever IP address they have and SMTP relay they're using, make sure that everything is there. Now, um, depending upon the version of Workbench that you're using, you may need to upgrade the TLS. So if that's the case, depending upon what TLS version it is, whether it's 1, 2, or 3, or 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, you'll have to go to the Fox service to change that. But some versions of Niagara don't accept that, therefore you need to upgrade. Or hopefully they have something that can go backwards. Well, that's all I have for you today for this video. Thank you very much, and I'll see you later.